On the planet of Lothal, Jedi padawan Ezra Bridger had managed to unlock the gateway to the world between worlds, which served as a pathway between time and space. As he walked through, he heard the voices of those past and present, before finding the convor of Ahsoka Tano placed over one of the portals. Seeing Ahsoka and Vader dueling in the temple of Malachor, Ezra manages to save Ahsoka before the temple collapsed, and pulled her into his realm. After the Togruta recovers from a harrowing experience, Ezra is tempted into saving his fallen master Kanan Jarrus, but Ahsoka tells him to close the portal. The Emperor blocks their path, and Ahsoka has to deflect a Sith sorcery to save them both. In the end, the temple and portals were destroyed by Ezra and the Ghost Crew, stopping any chance of either the rebels or the Empire taking advantage of the wealth of knowledge. But what if Darth Vader used the realm before the temple had been destroyed? What if Darth Vader went back in time? With a chance to change the past, what point in time would Vader choose? Would he be able to stop the rise of the Emperor? As you're about to see, these pathways could have fixed everything. As the disguised scout troopers Ezra Bridger and Sabine Wren stood in front of the murals of the Mortis gods, the rebels are distracted in deciphering the riddle, and fail to notice the Sith apprentice lurking in the shadows. Sabine distracts the stormtroopers, leaving Ezra to follow the path of the Lothwolves. As Ezra is about to jump in, Vader leapt from a distance and grabbed onto Ezra, propelling them both into the portal. The Jedi padawan got to his feet, and in front of him, he saw the intimidating figure of Darth Vader. Ezra knew it would be futile to duel the Sith, but unlike their previous encounters, Vader had no intentions of killing him, rather seeking the knowledge of the portals. Vader interrogated Ezra on what he knew about the place, but Ezra ran to one of the portals, seeing the convor of Ahsoka. Vader scoffed at Ezra's choice, as he would stop the Emperor. As the Sith heard the voices of some of the galaxy's most influential people, he finally found the portal he wanted. Watching with hate at Obi-Wan Kenobi on the planet of Naboo, Qui-Gon was weakening in his duel against Maul, and Vader pulled him out, just as Maul was about to stab him. Qui-Gon tumbled onto the pathway, but they had little time, as from afar, the Emperor had tried to reach through the realm, and the Sith sorcery was heading their way, along with Ezra and Ahsoka. Vader knew that Ahsoka had stopped Ezra saving Kanan, and knew that Qui-Gon would die whatever he did, but he told the Jedi Master that Palpatine was the Sith Lord, before throwing him back into the portal, and escaping through another, into a different future. In the royal palace on the planet of Naboo, Obi-Wan screamed in anguish behind his force field, as Qui-Gon crumpled to the floor. Nonetheless, he sensed a peace from his master, and the Padawan was confident he could defeat Maul. Obi-Wan powerfully countered Maul's attacks, and his raw enthusiasm was underestimated by the Sith apprentice, as he tumbled into the shaft below. With his last words, Qui-Gon asks Obi-Wan to train Anakin, and to keep him away from Palpatine, who was the Sith Lord. After gaining permission from Yoda to train Anakin, Obi-Wan decides to take Qui-Gon's words literally, and rather than go to the celebration on Naboo, they go to Tatooine. Landing upon the sands once more, Anakin leads them into the centre of Mos Espa, where they visit Shmi again. If what Qui-Gon had told him about Palpatine was true, the Jedi had been fooled, and Obi-Wan needed a way to help defeat the Sith. Using his infant, but still proficient negotiation skills, Obi-Wan coerces the Toydarian Watto into taking an unfortunate bet on an upcoming pod race, and yet again, he loses a slave, this time of Shmi. The actions of Obi-Wan are immediately noticed by the Jedi Council, and they are not pleased. The Council have been wary of Anakin's attachments, and is feared to let go, and here was Obi-Wan bringing back his mother. But with nowhere to go for Shmi, she is assigned to work in the Jedi Temple, where she is allowed occasional visits to Anakin. The Council have been reluctant, but since the return of the Sith, Yoda had been willing to experiment with Anakin to discover the unknown. The training between Obi-Wan and Anakin continues to progress, and the Master cannot reveal the identity of the Sith Lord until he becomes a Jedi Master, as he fears the power the knowledge held. Back in Palpatine's office, the Sith Lord had sensed a great clouding in the Force. Having personally seen to the demise of Plagueis, the ghosts of his master's past still haunted him. The visions of Anakin Skywalker disturbed him, as his master Kenobi was not letting him anywhere near the supposed Chosen One. Nonetheless, Sidious had other assets he could use, and one of them was former Jedi Master, now Sith apprentice Dooku. The Count of Sereno had been working on a secret project on Camino, and in time, all of the Jedi would fall, including Skywalker and Kenobi. Sidious vowed to prove Plagueis wrong, whatever the Force was telling him would happen. That is it for part 1 of What If Darth Vader Went Back in Time. If you'd like to see a part 2 soon, please like this video, turn on your notification bell, subscribe to this channel, and my other channel What If Films for more what ifs. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.